Hello guys, and welcome to my video about the announcement of the Back to Hell DLC and free co-op pack for Steel Division Normandy 44. So today we're looking at the second major DLC for Steel Division Normandy 44. Previously we had Second Wave, now we are on Back to Hell, and I am very excited to go through this with you guys today. So let's just jump straight in. First of all, they are announcing 7 new historical missions. I am very hyped for new single player content. I think it's definitely something that they could add loads more of in this game. The initial campaigns were fantastic, and I just want to play more single player content in this game. It was just very fun indeed. They've announced 4 new divisions and 2 exclusive aces. I also know that they've announced the 58 new units, and we'll go through those later on. First of all, we'll have a look at the 7 historical missions, including 5 that can be played cooperatively. And they mention Operation Dead Stick, Operation Windsor, and Operation Bluecoat. I became a wiki warrior and had a look into what these include. And Operation Dead Stick is all to do with the fight over the Caen Canal and capturing a couple of the bridges to stop German reinforcements during Normandy. And yeah, that was basically the 6th Airborne versus the 21st Panzer as far as I'm aware. Also the 7th light infantry as well, which is again like a paratrooper regiment that came down in gliders, so we might get a chance to play those. Operation Windsor was all to do with the 3rd Canadian Infantry taking Carpiquet from the 12th SS Panzer, so that's all going to be pretty standard stuff that we already have in the game already. So 3rd Canadian versus 12th SS on the Carpiquet map most likely. And then we have Operation Bluecoat, which is all to do with the Guards Armoured going up against the 2nd Panzer Division, which is one of the new divisions. And that should be a lot of fun as well, because that was all to do with holding up the German forces in order to stop them reinforcing elsewhere on the front line. So yeah, really cool. Let's have a look. They also mention playing as the leader of one of 11 never seen before divisions. Now I have a full list of all of these divisions that I'll go through later on, but here it mentions the big red one, 1st Infantry Division, and the 1st SS Panzer Division. And every new mission will come with its own achievement. So if you're a Steam achievement whore like I am, then you'll very much enjoy gaining those achievements from completing those missions. So the 4 new divisions that they have announced, if you guys don't know about them already, is the 7th Armoured Division, which is the Desert Rats from the Africa campaign. Then we have the Demi Brigade SAS, which is sort of a mix-up between resistance fighters and elite troops. So you have the French Special Air Service, so it's all French, and then you have the French resistance fighters, also known as the French Forces of the Interior, which will make sense when you see some of their units. So here we can see the announcement of the 58 new units, including the famous Westland Lysander, the LEFH 16 Field Howitzer, which is this one just above. We have the D-520 fighter aircraft, which is a French aircraft, I believe, that is captured by Germany in this DLC anyway, and is used by the Germans. Then we have the Panzer 1B, which I'm assuming is a lighter armed Panzer 1C. So the Panzer 1C has, I think, a 12.7mm machine gun which has armor piercing rounds. I'm not sure that the Panzer 1B does. I think that's just the one with the 2 machine guns. So a sort of a light sort of cavalry tank that charges forwards with infantry early in the game. And then they also mentioned the 75mm SP autocar. But the biggest thing that I am really excited about is the Borgward 4, which is the remote controlled demolition vehicle. So I'm guessing that there's going to be a new option in the game, maybe in the bottom right on the sort of control panel, that allows you to like press it and then it blows up the vehicle. And that is exciting, really exciting, because it's new mechanics that are added to the game. And the interactions with that will be very fun indeed. Like if you hide one around the corner and then like a tank drives around and then you blow it up, that would be very awesome. Although I'm not entirely sure how effective it will be against armor, since it only mentions destroying enemy infantry and light vehicles. So it might not penetrate through that much armor. We see two exclusive ace models here, Major Horst Ramsch and his Panzer IV, and the famous Major Howard, who was one of the first Allied officers to set foot in Normandy during Operation Overlord. Now, one thing to mention, or one thing to look at, is this screenshot here. You can't really see it particularly well, but on the front of the Panzer III and also the Jagdpanzer back here, we have the FFI markings, which again is the French Forces of the Interior. So these are captured vehicles, and I'm assuming they're going to play a part in that SAS division that we have seen. So it also mentions the trailer, and I'll leave a link to that in the description. I'll also leave a link to this Steam page if you guys want to have a look for yourselves. But this DLC will be released on February the 13th, and I'm really looking forward to it. And they're also releasing free content as well, which is the free co-op mission pack, which includes Operation Atlantic, which is another historical mission involving the 11th Armoured Division, the 3rd Canadian, 16th Luftwaffe, and 21st Panzer. So that should be a lot of fun indeed. Right, so that is basically the Steam page wrapped up and the Steam news announcement. But let me jump over to the Paradox Plaza purchase page, where we have even more information. So here I am, guys, on the Paradox Plaza purchase page for Steel Division Normandy 44 Back to Hell DLC. This gives us a rough price of how much the DLC is going to cost. So £11.39 might be a little bit different on Steam, not entirely sure. But if you whack that into a currency converter, you can find out how much that's going to cost in euros or in US dollars, and get yourself a rough idea of how much the thing's going to cost. Now on this page there is of course all of the different screenshots, some of which we've seen before, but this one is very cool indeed. It shows us all of the FFI units. This is the French SAS division. Looks very cool. These FFI are the French resistance vehicles, and then we have what looks like stolen German motorcycles, Kubels. We have a truck there as well, all going to be marked. very awesome stuff. But yeah, if we jump back to the main page and scroll down, we get to the real juice of this DLC. We find out exactly what is coming. So this introduction is pretty much what we've read already, but the main features section down here shows us exactly what we're getting our hands on. So of course the 4 new divisions, we have the 2 exclusive aces, the 7 historical missions, and then we actually get a list of the 11 never seen before divisions exclusively available in this mode, which is the co-op and solo mode. So we get the 1st US Division, the 11th British Armoured Division, the 1st SS Panzer Division, the 2nd Canadian Armoured Brigade, 4th Canadian Armoured Division, 3rd British Infantry Division, 6th British Guards Armoured Brigade, 29th US Infantry Division, 90th US Infantry Division, 322nd Infantry Division, and the 2nd SS Panzer Corps, which is a very interesting list of divisions, because I'm not entirely sure how they're going to do it, but I'm pretty sure some of these divisions had their own sort of units that were quite unique to each of those divisions. So whether or not they're going to be included or not, I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, if we go over, we can see they have listed the entirety of the 58 new units. So under the 7th Armoured Division, we're going to get new Staghounds. We've got the Wasp Mark IIC as a Stuart 5, both as portee. We have the Mitchell 2 Bomber, which is shown in the trailer. There's the Cromwell 3, the Cromwell 5, Abbot of Chantry, Desert Rats. We have the 75mm SP Autocar, which again I think is the one shown in the trailer. There is the M3 Mosquito. Then we have the Demi Brigade SAS units, which includes many of the French Forces of the Interior markings. So the FFI, that's what French Forces of the Interior stands for. We have like a traction or tractor, or whatever it is. Then we have like a sidecar, and there's a Panhard. There is the Panzer III-H that we saw in the screenshot. There is a Panzer IV. There is a captured Jagdpanzer. We have the SD KFZ 251, another captured unit there. So it's pretty much a lot of German units that are used. But either way, let's continue. Jeep SAS, so just some SAS in the Jeep. We've got the Western Lysander as part of this division, the Citroen Hotchkiss. That is going to be very interesting indeed. I'm not sure if that's the little car that we can see, the little black car. Whether or not that's going to have like a little mounted machine gun in it or not is very, very interesting. We'll have to wait and see. But either way, there is a Hotchkiss with a 13.2mm there, and the Rallies, which is, I'm not entirely sure what that is. There's many things in this list that are very ambiguous and could be a lot of different things. So we have some chasseur parachutists, which are going to be some elite infantry, I'm assuming. We have the Gruppe FM SAS, Piet SAS. I'm assuming the Piet SAS is going to be like in the AT tab as a sort of like similar to Tank Busters maybe, with 2 Piets. We'll have to wait and see. There's different mortars. We have like 2 and 3 inch mortars for the SAS. Sniper. We have the SAS Leader, SAS Scout, so that's just a recon unit. Same with the Sniper, most likely. Then there's the Jedburgh. We have the DMA Logistique. And then we move on to the 2nd Panzer Division, which includes new Focke-Wulf variants, the A4U4 and the A8R1. We see the Multia munitions truck. So we've seen the Multia in the game for quite a while. It seems that they've recycled the transport vehicle as an actual munitions vehicle, which is nice to see. And then we have the Borgward 4, which is very cool. There's a BAO Panzer 2C, Ju-88S SD2. Not entirely sure what the armament of that will be, but that's interesting. We also have the Aufklärungs, Panzer IV-J and Panther D. Now, if I'm correct in thinking, these have a very different model to what you guys will expect. Maybe not the Aufklärungs Panzer IV-J, but the Panther D especially. I'm pretty sure this is like a Panther hull with like a smaller turret on it, but we can't be sure again until we actually get our hands on the game itself. By the way, moving on, we have the Sturmgrenadiers. I'm assuming that's where the STG-44 is going to come into things. You can see it in the background here. This chap's holding an STG-44. So that is most likely to be added into the game along with the Sturmführer, which is going to be the command variant of the Sturmgrenadiers. Then we have the Festungsgruß Paris. And this is going to have the Panhard MG. It has the Panzer 1B. There's just going to be a lot of like reserve units in this division. There's the R40, the Flak M36, Flak 39, D520. So again, this is an Axis division, and they have the D520, which I assumed was a French aircraft, but I'm guessing it's captured in this case. There's a Befehl BMW R75. That's pretty cool. It's a motorcycle with command radius, I'm assuming. Streifgruppe, Feldgendarme, which is the sort of French police in Paris, I'm assuming. Because that's basically what the Festung Großparis is. It's the security force in Paris. Also, I think it's, yeah, sort of the 350, I've got it here, the 325th Security Division. I'm pretty sure that's what they're kind of going for with this setup. They also have the ROA, I'm not entirely sure what that means, the KM Marine Infantry, and the KM Führer. So that's kind of like your standard infantry with your command infantry, Landesschützen, and the Lehr Pioneer. So again, I think those are just sort of pioneer units, and then we have Landesschützen, which might be sort of reserve infantry with the disheartened trait, and of course the LEFH-16, which is the long-range howitzer. So I'll leave a link to this as well. You guys can jump onto the page, maybe copy and paste some of these into Google and so on, and find out exactly what they're trying to go for with this DLC. But that is as much information as I have at the moment on the game that's specifically provided to us by Eugen and Paradox. So I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on this, and I will make sure to bring out as much content as I can on the new DLC as soon as I can. But in the meantime, guys, hopefully that is a nice look at the DLC for you lot. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.